Okay, so this time we're gonna talk about motivational speakers, life therapy, life coaches, behavioral therapy, etc. Why do I really want to discuss this topic? Because it is a great field for grifters, a great field for snake oil peddlers, and all sorts of semi-legitimate activities, scams, overpriced courses. This is really one of the fields where things like Scientology get out into the public. So maybe let's start with what are the green flags? How can you identify something which seems to be a good and proven and at least controlled system of something like behavioral therapy, life coaching, etc. First of all, a good life coach is going to be someone who is professionally trained in things like psychology. So he will have a degree. He's gonna have a certificate from the appropriate national organization for your specific country. So, for example, from the American Psychology Association. And this is one of the key things you have to look. Is this person really a professional, or is he just some guy who wrote a book? The other green flag, he's gonna work on a model that has been tested and that is used by other people. Meaning this is gonna be some sort. For example, cognitive behavioral therapy. That's a model that has been designed in the 1960s. It's been continuously updated. It's being used by many different psychologists around the world from all sorts of countries. Many different people over the years contributed to it, and it's still being built on, and most importantly, is being tested. There are studies made on its efficiency and efficacy. There's people who publish criticism in scientific journals supporting certain things in this model or opposing certain things in this model. Basically, the important things is there's a lot of people involved and they're not part of the same organization. Criticism is available and even encouraged, and there are studies of efficacy, of efficiency, how there are documented by the numbers studies that show how many people experience positive results. Another green flag would be that the person is using one-on-one training sessions, or at the very best uses small group therapy. By small, I mean groups below 20 people, preferably below 10. Okay, so now maybe let's talk about the red flags. How can you spot a grifter, not a legitimate life coach? Well, first of all, a grifter will often have no real product to offer you. He's not gonna have a scientifically tested method that he's gonna use. Instead, you will see that he's using some sort of program that he himself wrote. So the person delivering the training is gonna be the same exact person who created the method, and nobody else in the world is gonna use that method. Or the people who use that method are the creator of it and his several employees who are all part of the same organization, or are his direct students. So basically, if it's just one person from one place and one organization and nobody else uses this method, uh, it already sounds suspicious. That's a red flag. One more thing, the method that a grifter will use is not gonna be tested. So you will not have studies about it. You will not have any comparison with controlled groups. You will not have any data on how many people got specific, very well defined results. Instead, you will often see anecdotal case studies. Or a witness testimony. There's gonna be a testimony of this one woman who will say, "Oh, after the life repair seminar, my life changed completely. I was a broken, etc., 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 and now I'm super happy." So you're gonna have statements of just chosen individual customers, and you will not have a case study done on a whole large group that participated in this seminar. Now maybe about the techniques. Uh, what sort of psycho manipulation will the grifter use in his quote-unquote life coaching? Well, another red flag is if the life coaching is not really a one-on-one session, or it's not in a small group. Instead, it's going to be some sort of seminar or lecture in a huge auditorium, and there's going to be 1,000 people in the audience. That's already a red flag. Usually, those sorts of trainings and coach-student relationships, they don't really work in very large groups at all. If someone is using a very large group, that's probably just a money-making device. He can charge 1,000 people at the same time instead of having 17 or 20 or 100 individual meetings. One more thing about those quote-unquote seminars in large auditoriums, you will often see grifters use the same sort of visual and audio techniques that televangelists and cult leaders do. So there would be dramatic lighting, like light and shadow. It would look like a theater, not like a seminar, not like a lecture at the university. You will see some sort of laser show or smoke. There might be dramatic music that is supposed to cause some sort of emotional reaction in the audience. I'm not saying there can't be legitimate lecturers who use some of that to break the monotony of a lecture, but then it's going to be subdued. It might be an introduction by someone and some music. If you see all those factors, light, music, that's probably a very big red flag. Another red flag would be if the seminar is posted in a manner where there's going to be one guy who's going to come out and he's going to speak in this very deliberate voice, and he's gonna do the old wise man with a beard routine. It's not gonna be he's gonna try to make it sound important by the way he talks and not by the content of what he says. He might say very trivial things, but he's gonna say it in this sort of deliberate voice, often very deep voice. So those are some of the things you should watch out for.